Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me on this my first ever foray into a semi-proper video review of the games that I enjoy playing, and hopefully this will be the first of many, unless this first video is met by screams of horror and oh dear god, turn it off, turn it off. Let's hope not. Tonight, for the debut one, I would like to introduce you to an old favourite of mine. I first encountered this back in 2009, shortly after it was first published. It's a small magazine supplement, but it contains the game Doggerbank 2, designed by Gary Graber of Minden Games. Now, Gary is a very prolific game designer, and his designs include a lot of naval war games, which are notable for being hugely affordable and also really quite engaging. Now, the reason his games are so affordable is because you do have to do a fair bit of practical legwork yourself. So what you get in the magazine, in addition to the rules, are a single cardboard sheet with all the ship counters that you need to play Doggerbank 2, as well as a quick reference sheet to keep you going through the game. Now, what this is it is a very simple system covering naval combat between capital ships, particularly the British and German battle cruisers during the First World War. It's a very elegant system. Players who remember Avalon Hill's Jutland, which was published in the late 1960s, will see an awful lot of homages to that system in Gary's game. But there's also a lot of new features that nuance it a bit. There's a bit of extra command and control. Damage is fleshed out a bit more, so you have a better idea what is happening to the ships other than a bit of abstract damage. And there are optional rules for the different behaviour of older ships, so armoured cruisers are included in this game, even though it's primarily about battle cruisers. And there are certain rules deliberately hobbling these older vessels if players so wish to employ them. So just a little bit about the system. One of the beauties of it, and I'll hold this card close so you can see the ships, is that everything you need is visible on the ship card. Now, you can replace these with miniatures if you prefer a slightly more 3D look to your games, but you can get by perfectly happy once you've clipped out and started using the ship counters. Each ship counter contains a graphic top-down view of the vessel, a brief bit of data, basically its tonnage and the year it was launched, and all the other numbers scattered around the picture of the ship summarize its speed, its armor protection, and its gunnery strength. In gunnery strength, there's an extra layer of detail in that ships are rated differently for their broadside strength, bow and stern arcs, and this is based on the distribution of the turrets and the arc of fire that the ships enjoyed. Now, what makes this so marvellous and elegant is that players at a glance can appreciate the strengths and weaknesses of the different ships, and this can help them formulate how they'll run their battles, how they'll deploy their ships. To quote Sun Tzu's old maxim, he who knows his enemy and knows himself can go through 100 battles without danger, and this game really shows you that. This is not to say that you have an unfair advantage in terms of information. A lot of the information that you enjoy in the game would have been available to anyone who could get a copy of a photograph of an enemy warship at the time, analysed from its appearance, and a simple publication like Jane's Fighting Ships of what it would be capable of, and would have been able to make some balanced decisions based on what they could see. So it's not like you're being fed stuff that contemporaries would not have had. It's just to give you a better appreciation of what the ships can do. So much for me nattering on about the game. What does a turn look like? Well, I think now would be a good time for us to pop downstairs where I actually have a decently sized table and have a look. So what I have done here is set up an extremely simple scenario involving only two ships. This is a highly unlikely encounter in 1916 between the British battlecruiser Lion and the German battlecruiser Lützow. I am assuming that the ships encountered each other in heavy fog. In this game, 1 inch represents 1,000 yards, and in heavy fog, visibility is often limited to 5,000 yards. So therefore